Hi, this is an overview about how to use the Clarity Data Survey information. Most of you will have received an email stating that you have been added to the Clarity Manage group and would be able to log in and view your data. So the first thing you'll see when you log in is we're on the Technology and Learning dashboard. This is your dashboard right here. And then we have lenses, reports, and trends. We'll look at that in a minute. Once we're in the dashboard, we see our overall case score. And the case score means in all of these different areas and all of these different data points added up that your school received a case score of 1043. The case scores are the lowest are in the 800s and the highest are in, I believe, the 1100s. It's color coded, which is nice. So if you're at the beginning level, it'll be gray. Emerging will be pink. Proficient is golden. Advanced is green, and exemplary is blue. So, and here's some more information if I click on Show Me More. It talks about the case score. Oh, I'm sorry, it was up to 1300 is the highest. So, and here's a little video on how to use it as well. So the first thing you'll see over here under Classroom, we have the use of the 4 C's, which are communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity, and how it's viewed from the teacher's standpoint in the students. And then we have digital citizenship, assessment, and assistive technology. So if I click on any of these, like if I click on assessment, it will come up with, we can click on assessment here, and it'll come up with the 3 areas that they were, that you were scored on based on what you said in the survey questions. So teacher frequency of digital or online assessment. If I click on that, it says that 15% of the teachers at St. Albert Elementary use online assessments weekly and 46% never use it. You can then compare that information. ESA is the AEA, Iowa, or all of everybody who's ever taken the test any place in the world. So if we compare it to everyone else at Green Hills, you can see how you compare that in that way, or you can change your comparison to Iowa or to everyone who's ever taken the survey. So interesting way to compare. And then it gives you some research on why it matters with a citation on where they got that. And if you click on the citation, you'll get the entire citation right there. And then it gives you a nice little graph. So each one of the areas underneath this are that way. And now we have our breadcrumbs to go back. So if I want to go back to the beginning and look at the overall charts, I'll see this. You can see that the access is really good, teachers and students, and even at home. So as far as at home, let's look and see how many of your students have access at home. That's really a critical area, particularly if you're going to be assigning homework that would need the internet at home. So student access to computers at home or to the internet. Let's do the internet. So 95% of your students have access to the internet at home, wireless, and 5% have access to wired. So that would mean 100% of your students have access to the internet at home, which means that in a one-to-one environment, there would be no problem with asking your students to do work that needs the internet to do it if you're giving that as some type of assignments, projects, or homework. So that's good news. Good to know. So I'm going to go back to my teaching and learning. And over here under skills, you can see that skills are not as high. So if I click on the teacher's online skills, So if I look at like confidence in using online tools and frequency of using them for teachers, you'll see that only 11% believe that it's impossible to download and install software, although that's not necessarily as important a thing to do now that we're in the cloud as much. But here, this is really important, collaborating and using online documents. And 9% of the teachers here believe that's impossible, and 28% believe that that is very easy. So the tools are the exact same thing, so I could compare them. I can read as to why, and I can read the citation right here. So the other thing over here on this, if I view it on Insight, I'll click that later. I can save this chart or I can share it. So I could save this chart or share it to people, but if I view it on Insight, this will take me over to some ideas on how to improve the score here using discussion boards to promote critical thinking. It'll give you a nice article on that. And we'll also give you some information about which districts at Green Hills are ready or not ready to do this particular activity. So now if I go back, and I'm going to go back to my technology and learning. And if I look at environment, I'm going to look at the 3 Ps. I know what 2 of them are. I always forget the third one. Policies, procedures, and practices. So if I look at those, and teacher frequency of technology discussions, teacher ability to take home, student ability to take home devices. So if I look at teacher frequency of technology discussions, teachers discuss technology use during department or grade level team meetings. And so you can see that that's kind of in the middle of the road there. And 37% almost always discuss technology. Again, why it's important, and the citation and the ability to compare. Each one of these is the same. So then I'm going to go back to technology and learning. And that's kind of an overview on how you could use the dashboard. Now, if I wanted to filter down, see, I'm at St. Albert Schools. If I wanted to filter down even more and can click on the filter, and now I can select just the elementary and save. And now I have the information from the elementary teachers. The other thing I can do with the filter, if I click on the filter again and I select individual grades, I could select the 5th grade and save that. And now I have a score for just the 5th grade, and I have all of the results from just the 5th grade students. So that's a good way to narrow it way down. And I could select more than one grade. So I could select 4th and 5th and together and save that and see what that might look like. So a good way to be able to drill all the way down. The map shows you where St. Albert Schools is. And the list will give you a list of the proficiency level of St. Albert Schools overall, and all of the people taking this and the people in Iowa. And if I wanted to see the service agencies numbers, I could click here, and then I'm going to see Green Hills numbers. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And up here I see I have lenses. So if I click on lenses, I can look at some reports. So there are technology standards, which are similar to the Iowa standards for technology literacy. The universal constructs come from the Iowa Core, and this will give you a report out about what's going on in your district based on these. And the SAMR model is a way to look at technology integration and at what levels you're at. So if you want to find out more about SAMR, click on this one and read through it, and we can also discuss it later on. Reports, you have a lot of reports you can look at. And it says right here, filters you applied the filters you selected don't apply to reports, meaning that you're going to see a report for the entire school district, not just for the elementary or for a couple of classes in the elementary. So if I want to look at a report for professional development, then I can click through here and it'll talk about what is professional development. Oops, where are my lines? Here they are. And it'll give you some data from your survey. And it'll give you some of the factors that most contribute to the success of your organization include, and it'll give you the scores for that. And I don't do well with scatter charts, but that's what this is. And then here's your report card for different things in professional development. So we have foundational skills, online skills, and see you're either at proficient or advanced in all of these. So very good. And you can download that and save it if you want to. So, and under tools, if I go to tools, this is only for people who are taking the leadership survey, and St. Albert did not. So we'll go back to the dashboard. And trends, you will not have a trend because you've only taken it once. But after you've taken it more than once, you can get a trend line as to where you went up and down. But it says right here, you're not going to get a trend line because you've only done it once. So that's kind of a quick overview. And let me close out of my calendar here of how to use the dashboard in Clarity. And stop sharing.